Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Mike Kelly, and we're Real Estate Jerky Daily. We weren't here yesterday because of the golf tournament, and I guess they did pretty well. I was on my way there and had to get a bunch of rock. So, unfortunately,
I figured you were busy with your yard.
well, it was at the his last day. Right?
Yeah.
So
I stayed till the ball dropped, and it's miraculously I didn't win anything.
Shocking. Did you buy any?
I bought one ball, $100 a ball.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
No, so
all right, what do you got? Numbers? Go for it.
I got them right here. Look at 471 closed sales per day.
Listings are up again.
Listings are up again. I think they were 880 last week. They're 819 this week. They've been in the 700s. And then we got 601 pending sales. Woohoo! We're just a cooking with fire these days.
With gas. We do gas
with
now.
gasoline.
Unless you need gas for your vehicle because you got one less refinery in California.
Look at this. These numbers in the middle reflect the numbers on the top. So how realtors did the previous week.
Yeah. Entered escrow, listed a property. It's still the negative. There's, even at the bottom, sales will be up, prices will be up, listings will be up.
Well, they were positive the first 2 months.
It's the same, but now they're negative.
Yeah.
Well, at 10% over there, that's prices will be up. They're probably talking Southern California.
Yeah, they probably won't be up in Southern California, but they will be up in San Francisco and in Modesto.
That's right.
Because they just keep on rising. No inventory. I mean, even though the 819 listings per day for a week, still not enough.
All right, let's see if I got this down because everybody was saying how we throw numbers out and they can't follow. Let's see if I did a little bit better today. All right, we're going to talk about.
Put it in the chat GPT.
We'll see if I did.
Okay.
I know my assistant Chad took care of it for me. We're going to talk about your money, prices, houses, and what people in charge of economy are saying. So let's get right into it.
Let's figure it out.
All right, so stocks are staying pretty flat this morning, which really means they haven't done anything.
I didn't even look yet.
Well, you don't have to. They're flat. Mortgage bonds, which helps decide interest rates, if you didn't know that, are going up, which usually means good news for us if we want better rates, and that's what's happening.
Okay.
Something happened in Japan that helped bonds to go higher. Their economy got worse, and now leaders probably won't raise their interest rates. That's helping lower rates all over the world. So even that's what's happening with us. Yesterday, there was a thing called a bearish engulfing pattern. That's when a bear comes out of the mountains and it engulfs you. Just kidding.
He's hungry.
Yeah. So it shows up on the chart, which tracks interest rates, and the pattern usually means interest rates might be going lower. And they are. We're down a little bit more today, and we were down, I think, almost 49 basis points yesterday and another 10 today. So we're coming back from what we gave over the last week or two.
Gotcha.
The 10-year still at 4.43. We're not anywhere close to 4.19, but give it time.
Okay, I'm going to give it time.
Price report. Things are getting more expensive. So on wholesale prices, which is the PPI, Producer Price Index, came in yesterday. Its prices in April were down by 0.5%, which is much better than they expected. The core PPI, which of course removes everything expensive, also went down more than expected. And so that was a little major. That's why we did so well yesterday. However, CNBC made a big mistake on TV yesterday.
What did they do?
They showed the wrong number. They said prices went up when they really went down.
Oh.
Confused a lot of investors and caused them troubles for bonds. Part of this report still shows prices rising as we get into the next. So everybody's going to focus on the PCE report, which is the Fed's favorite inflation.
Right.
I think that's going to come in even calmer
than
what we just saw yesterday. Yeah.
Well, especially when they used the wrong graph.
Well, you got to remember, a lot of people follow CNBC.
Why do they do that? Because they always have.
Because it's one of those. It was one of the first channels that showed business news like that.
Right.
Not CNN. They don't show news like that anymore. Ted Turner, where he owned it, probably did. Let's see what else we got. Housing permits. This means how many we're going to plan to build houses. How are we?
How many were pulled?
Exactly. They dropped almost 5% in April. That's fewer homes might be built in the future, especially with higher costs and tariffs. Housing starts when the construction has already begun. That's what housing starts are, right? That's when they're building it.
Right.
That stayed about the same last month, but single family home rose to 2%. So single family homes starts are up right there. We're building about 1.36 million homes a year, but we need 1.8 million to match numbers of new families looking for homes. So that means we keep adding to our deficit. And
Yeah.
that means that we'll never get caught up at this pace. Completions or homes that are fully finished also dropped 6%. Yesterday, home builders said they feel less confident, but most of them gave answers before some of the new trade deals were announced. So we'll see what happens next month.
Okay.
The big thing with what Fed, so the head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said they're thinking about changing how they handle inflation.
Really?
Yeah.
They're going to do it this
way. Do you think it's going to be better or worse? You think they're going to do whatever they decide is going to be better for us or worse for us?
I hope they're going to move towards better.
All right. Well, back in 2020, they decided it was okay for inflation to go above 2% for a while. Now they might be going back to a stricter and not letting inflation go higher than 2%.
Oh.
So he also said that they're in time where supply problems like trade issues or weather events happen more often and cause prices to go up and down a lot. Powell said he won't be getting all the details until August or September, but they're definitely thinking about changing the rules. What does this really mean? This means that there's probably less likely they're going to lower short-term interest rates.
Right.
Luckily, rates for the actual interest rates for mortgages aren't tied to that. So
that's true.
That's the positive thing.
It's not supposed to be tied to that, right?
And they run in the same troughs, but sometimes in different directions. Or on the same street, I guess.
They wave at each other as they go by.
And sometimes they actually do a U-turn and follow each other sometimes because they like that person.
Yeah.
Next week, we have Wednesday, we're going to see about mortgage applications, and then the 30 bond auction. Thursday, we get numbers on jobless claims and existing home sales. And Friday, we found out how many new homes are being sold. So that's next week.
That's what we got in store for next week.
Yeah, that's what we got in store. So here's what we
plus county.
Let me reiterate what we learned today.
What did we learn?
Prices dropped more than expected last month, but there was confusion because of a news mistake, right? CNBC. Okay. Housing construction is not keeping up with the numbers of people who want to buy homes. The Fed might change how it fights inflation and could affect interest rates soon, which is not a positive thing. The next week brings more updates on housing, jobs, and economy. Well, there you go. That's what I have.
I feel.
You feel lighter?
I feel lighter. I feel like I understood the numbers. I feel like it wasn't just blah, blah, blah. So good job.
I tried.
And
Parcaut. I wrote my thing and I said, now make this to a 8-year-old.
Well, on radio without our podcast, without some graphics, it's hard to follow sometimes.
Right. Well, basically their number, we're showing we're still in the same area. We're still not building enough homes. If we're not building enough homes, how are we going to have a bubble? How are we going to not, what I'm just saying is there's no way we're going to ever have a bubble at this rate unless we have like 5 households in one house, 5 different families in one house. Right.
And that's what's kind of affecting, I think, and I think you think too, the rental market, where rent prices are coming down because people are buddying up.
Or they're just go move back home.
Oh yeah, live in the basement. If they don't have a basement, live in the crawl space.
All right. And if you didn't have enough of us today, you can always get more of us tomorrow on radio 1360 KFIV on AM Talk Radio.
Yeah. What time on Saturdays now?
Saturdays is always 12 noon.
Okay.
Sundays is at 3 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. Yeah. Some Fresno Bulldog thing took over. They decided to pay for it. I could have fought it, but why? Let's get a different avenue.
Exactly.
All right, everybody, and if you don't catch those, you can just catch us on the podcast.
There we go.
All right, make it a great day, and we'll be back on Monday.
Perfecto.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, kids.
Go buy a house. Reach out to get pre-approved.
Yeah, write a backup offer if you like one and it's already pending.
Yeah, because you'll probably have a 50-50 chance.
It works.
All right, bye.
Bye.